Donald Trump looking very sick and very weak at Mar-A-Lago this weekend and behaving very sick and weak. Take a look at him right now. Zoom in right there. Do you see him? That was him eating in the morning, and he needs to have a name placard. So I guess he knows who he is. I mean, do you see that when he eats at the table? It says President Donald J. Trump, 4547. Again, just zoom in on him. He looks absolutely awful. This is what he's been posting in the morning. Winning is always nice. And it's a photo of him putting. That's what you're doing right now. Winning is always nice as the American people are suffering, as Americans are psychologically tortured, living paycheck to paycheck, as you're ripping healthcare away from over 20 million Americans, as Americans can't afford their rent. You're posting photos of yourself golfing, saying winning is always nice. And then Donald Trump posts another photo, this one with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia from his meeting like 2 weeks ago. Great being with the highly respected future king of Saudi Arabia. How embarrassing is this? How embarrassing was it that Donald Trump gave the red carpet treatment to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia? And when questions were asked about MBS killing journalists and MBS involvement with the 9/11 hijackers and Saudi Arabia's involvement with 9/11 hijackers, Donald Trump's like, how dare you treat my guest like that? Remember, he lashed out at the reporter. Oh, and then Donald Trump gave the Saudis F-35s. He gave them nuclear technology. He gave them our Blackwell AI chip, semiconductor chip technology. And what did the United States get in return? Oh, wait. Well, Donald Trump got a business deal out of it with the Saudis, the same way that Putin and Dmitriev and the other Russian oligarchs have been working with Trump and Witkoff on a, quote, $2 trillion business deal. That's how they've been trying to apparently lure Donald Trump into undermining all of America's alliances just by dangling that number. And apparently that's been working because Donald Trump cares about himself and his own wealth over anything relating to the safety, security of America. Now, Donald Trump also posted the following yesterday. He said that because I invoke a favored nation status for the United States of America, drug prices are falling to levels never seen before. 500%, 600%, 700%. You know, Donald, the reason that no one's ever seen that before, because it's quite literally impossible. Something can't drop 700% unless the pharmaceutical companies are paying us $700 for a $1 item, which they're not doing. And by the way, pharmaceuticals are not dropping. Healthcare costs are getting far more expensive. Stop defrauding us. Stop saying that we're in a golden age and that inflation is done when we, the American people, know what's actually going on. What else is going on? You have Trump's Department of Labor just posting Nazi propaganda at this point. Look at this. They have the kind of Gothic text that says Americanism will prevail, with this bizarre photo of Abe Lincoln and the Lincoln Memorial right there. And then you have 11 stars. 11 stars like the Confederacy. Is that what you're doing right here? Sure, that's just a coincidence as well as the Gothic Nazi text. Sure, Donald, just utterly despicable filth that the Department of Labor was posting yesterday. You just look at any data point though, right? Whether it is credit card delinquencies, student loan defaults, jobless rates, consumer confidence, all like the worst readings ever, like the lowest and the worst metrics possible. U.S. foreclosure rates surge 32% year over year. 32% more foreclosures this year. I wonder why. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that there are so many people losing their job right now and that things are unaffordable and that Trump's made things way worse. So it's not a shocker that this morning Donald Trump woke up to even more polling, showing that his approval has reached a new low. It's like every day there's a new low as his regime is collapsing before his sickly, rotting face, before his sickly, rotting eyes. Let's take a look at what University of Michigan economics professor Justin Wolfers had to say. And again, he's just giving the data, folks. And the data is that if you look at job growth between January and September for the past 15 years, the only time it's been worse was during the pandemic. Okay, watch what he has to say. Play this clip.
Steph, you raised the latest jobs report, and I actually just want to put a couple of facts on the table because I think they're really understated. If you look at job growth between January and September, if you looked at that this year and you compared it to every past year, for the past 15 years, it's only been worse once, and that was during the pandemic. So this is the worst.
When the world was shut.
Yep. It is the worst first 9 months for the labour market in 15 years. You've also got the unemployment rate right now, the single best statistic for trying to think about how the economy is doing, at a 4-year high. It's been a story that we haven't talked a lot about because it's risen sort of 1/10 of a percentage point every couple of months, and it sort of sneaks by and we don't talk about it. But let's talk about it because the unemployment rate is up 0.5 point. And for folks at home, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people struggling, and work is just, it's a central political, social, economic institution. It's where we get not just our income, but many of us our dignity and our worth. And that's a lot more suffering, and we haven't been talking about it enough.
Now, going from economics professor from University of Michigan, Justin Wolfers, to the CEO, to the leader of JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon right now. Jamie Dimon was asked about why JP Morgan Chase was not, involved in any funding of Trump's Golden Ballroom after Trump tore down the East Wing. And Jamie Dimon's answer was very revealing. And this is what we're seeing. People are now thinking, oh, you know what? There's going to be a world without Trump pretty soon. How does that sound to you? There's going to be a world without Trump pretty soon. And what will a new Department of Justice think about these quid pro quo bribery transactions? Watch what Jamie Dimon has to say. Play this clip.
So you're renovating and building this new office space in Detroit, much smaller scale than what's happening in Washington, right, where the East Wing has been demolished for what's going to be a very, very large ballroom that the president is building. Now, a lot of CEOs have rushed to donate to this, right? And it matters to him, right? So he looks at the list. On that list, you got Amazon, Coinbase, Google, you got a whole lot of others. Comcast, tons of companies on there. I didn't see JP Morgan Chase on that list. Did you think about it? Is there any chance you're going to do it?
You have to look at JP. We have an issue, okay, which is anything we do, since we do a lot of contracts with governments here and around the world, we have to be very careful how anything's perceived. And also how the next DOJ is going to deal with it. So we're quite conscious of the risk we bear by doing anything that looks like, buying favors or anything like that. So, do we do things like that? And but we also have policies where we don't do certain things.
Right.
Because it just makes it easier for us. We have helped the inaugurations. That was a normal thing that a lot of companies did.
Right.
So we'll see.
But the concern of buying favors.
Now, one of the things that Dimon also said there, and you heard him, is that the bank does business in lots of other countries as well. As America continues to weaken its position relative to other countries across the world, people like Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan Chase and leaders have to think about their relationships with leaders of other countries right now who are forming alliances as America is getting weaker. Let's take a look also how we've seen over this weekend some bipartisan pushback against the Trump regime policies and war crimes. So in the House Armed Services Committee, we got a bipartisan statement from Mike Rogers of Alabama and the Democrat ranking member Adam Smith. The two leaders, basically, but Republican and Democrat. They say this committee, the House Armed Services Committee, is committed to providing rigorous oversight of the Department of Defense's military operations in the Caribbean. We take seriously the reports of follow-on double-tap strikes on boats alleged to be ferrying narcotics in Southcom region and are taking bipartisan action to gather a full accounting of the operation in question. And that followed the bipartisan statement of Senate Armed Services Committee Chair Roger Wicker and the Democratic ranking member of the committee as well, Jack Reed. And they say the committee is aware of recent news reports and the Department of Defense's initial response regarding alleged follow-on strikes on suspected narcotics vessels in the Southcom area of responsibility. The committee has directed inquiries to the Department of Defense, and we will be conducting vigorous oversight to determine the facts related to these circumstances. Now, this comes at the same time that the former top military JAG lawyers, and I did a whole video on this last night, the former top military lawyers, some of the leaders in JAG, the Judge Advocate General, the military lawyers, they came out with a statement saying that these follow-on strikes, the double tap strikes, the give no quarters order by Hegseth and anyone in the chain of command was indeed a war crime, and that the individuals involved at all stages should be prosecuted for war crimes. Now, while all of this is taking place, Donald Trump continues to threaten war on Venezuela. And, the same way that you had Putin say denazification when it came to Ukraine, Donald Trump is saying that Venezuela, that this is a drug narco trafficking country, and that there's this drug trafficking narcoing gang, and that Maduro is the leader of the drug trafficking cartel, and as a result, all of this fentanyl is coming into the United States. Let's give the undisputed facts. Maduro is a dictator. Maduro is a terrible person. Maduro is an illegitimate leader in Venezuela. All of those things are true. At the same time, we can actually give the facts that there's not fentanyl coming in from Venezuela. By and large, the drugs that are killing Americans are coming in from Mexico or coming in from the Pacific, not from Venezuela or Colombia or any of these areas right here. And when Donald Trump is saying all these things, what he's really just trying to cover for is, and we've heard MAGA Republican Congress members like Salazar and others say, we want to take over the oil. The American oil companies are salivating at the idea of getting their hands on that Venezuelan oil because it has the biggest oil reserves basically in the world. And that's what this is about. And the MAGA Republicans are saying as such. And Donald Trump's, drug trafficking cartel stuff is a pretext, and one that, and let's be very clear, I don't like that Maduro is the leader of Venezuela. I want to be very clear about my position. At the same time, I don't want the United States getting into another war right now, okay? That's an important part for me. I want to be focused on the fact that there are 20 to 30 million Americans who are about to lose their health care. I want to focus on the fact that there are Americans who put in a hard day's work and can't afford a home and can't afford their rent, who can't get a good education. I want to focus on the fact that our younger generation right now looks at the future and sees the bleakest of bleak futures with no hope for them. I want to focus on actually bringing down prices. That's what I want to focus on right now. Call me naive, but that's what I want to be focused on right now. But I'll tell you what Trump's focused on right now. He's sending emails like this to his supporters. Ben, I subscribe to his emails so you don't have to, but these are very telling. He goes, Ben, I need your help. And then you open it up. This is what he sent last night. Ben, I hate asking my supporters for help, but today is one of those days where I just don't have another option. Ben, I need your help. My end of month deadline is less than 24 hours away, and I need your help to reach my presidential fundraising goal, ASAP. I wouldn't ask you unless it was very important. Will you make a personal sacrifice to help me reach my fundraising goal? He's begging his supporters to make a personal sacrifice to reach a fundraising goal. A fundraising goal for what? What are you even running for, number one? Okay, where's this money going? Number two, haven't you made tens of billions of dollars, or at least billions of dollars, grifting off the Oval Office with all these deals you're cutting with the Saudis and the crypto deals that you're making with World Liberty Financial and all of these Trump vodka, Trump this, Trump that? You're out there grifting off the American people, and you're out here. Don't you say that you're a billionaire and you're so rich and you've got billions and billions of dollars? Yet your own supporters right now who are getting kicked off of healthcare, your own supporters who can't afford their rent, your own supporters who can't afford anything, you're begging them to make a personal sacrifice, and then you're trying to trick them. And then you're trying to defraud them like the Ponzi scheme con artist you are. So Trump did 2 emails yesterday. So one was that one, the direct ask. Please make a personal sacrifice for me. The other one right here, would you accept? Would you accept? Then you open it up and it goes, would you accept? Then it's a photo of Donald Trump holding $100 bills. And it says, this is the only tariff rebate email authorized by President Trump. I'm sorry if you fell for the other scams out there, but I'm so grateful to have found you before it's too late. Ben, would you accept a tariff rebate check signed by Trump? Yes or no? And then when you click it, like who wouldn't want a tariff rebate? Giving me money. Then when you click it, it says $3,000, stand with Trump. $1,000, stand with Trump. $500, stand with Trump. Except when you click it, you pay Trump. He doesn't give you the money. You pay him. So he lies to you and claims he's going to give you a tariff rebate, just like remember they were going to give $5,000 Doge dividend checks. That never happened. That was a lie. Then they said they were going to give tariff dividend checks or something. That never happened. And now they're saying, oh, we're going to give you this money. No, you're not. You're lying again. You're not going to give this money. Or remember, he's like, oh, we'll give you $2,000 for your health care. That's my plan. Everybody gets $2,000. He's lying. They're making this up. But even worse, when you click the damn thing, you pay him. It's the biggest fraud in the freaking world right now. That's what it is. And speaking of the biggest fraud in the world, over the past few days, the House Republicans and various GOP-affiliated official accounts have been posting photos of Donald Trump with the troops, saying House Republicans are praying for our men and women in uniform who sacrificed the holidays to be with their families. And it's a photo of Donald Trump with the troops from November 2019. And they're trying to pass this off as though it's November 27th, 2025. Horrific stuff. And just finally, in just the day-to-day cruelty of this Trump regime, I always want to highlight that before this video ends, of things that don't get enough attention, like the way we shined a spotlight on the fact that the Trump regime says that the nursing profession is no longer deemed a profession, right? The Trump regime says it's not a professional degree anymore, so the Department of Education will treat nursing differently. What an FU to some of the most courageous people in this country. You're screwing over nurses? Like, just how cruel and unusual that that's where your focus is. And speaking of cruel and unusual, this is what I want to highlight. The Trump regime will no longer commemorate World AIDS Day. The State Department warned its employees not to use government funds for the occasion and to refrain from publicly promoting World AIDS Day through any communication channels. Quote, it just seems petty and hostile, frankly, said Peter Staley, a longtime activist. Exactly. Why are you so petty, hostile, mean, evil? It's just, there's a political aspect to all of this, but sometimes for me, it just comes to evil. And this Trump regime people are just bad people, evil people who hate America. And it's just obvious to me. Is it obvious to you? Well, hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you so much. Hey Midas Mighty, it's Ben, Brett, and Jordy, and we just want to thank you for being the backbone of this movement.
This year tested us more than ever, but together we proved that pro-democracy voices don't just compete, we win.
We took on the entire MAGA machine, won a Webby for Podcast of the Year,
the MeidasTouch podcast,
and you were with us every step of the way.
And trust us, what we're working on next is bigger, bolder, and built for 2026.
Let's keep this momentum going, spread the word, we are just getting started.
Shout out to the Midas Mighty!